Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Econ Cat 88, and I'm in downtown Toledo in the warehouse district. And this is another bar and restaurant that has went out of business. You can see the building is for sale. The asking price is $600,000. About 10 years ago, the city and county decided to relocate the Mud Hens playing field to downtown, and what you see there is Fifth Third Field, Fifth Third Bank, which is also occupying a large building downtown. But anyway, that's where the Detroit Tigers AAA team, the Toledo Mud Hens, plays their ball games. So when that was announced, a lot of folks decided to start investing in properties downtown, and the owners of this building bought into the hype. And this place has opened and closed 3 or 4 different times in the 10 years that they have owned the property. And now they are actually crazy enough to think that they're going to get $600,000 for this building. Now, if you watched my other videos, you probably saw the hotel that recently sold for $600,000, and that's about, well, you can see the Park Inn maybe over there. It's right next to that Park Inn. Anyway, a hotel, 15-story hotel, sold for $600,000 also. So either that was a very good deal, or the folks that own this building have lost their mind. But nevertheless, a person can ask, I suppose, whatever they want for their property. Doesn't mean anyone's going to buy it. 25 South Huron Street is the location of this place if you're interested. And last Saturday night was the last night for the bar to... The bar's last night of business was last Saturday night, so I personally think that anybody who would pay $600,000 for this place probably ought to also invest in some cat food, because that's probably what they will be eating soon after buying this. Would be a $600,000 brick around their neck, because this area is littered with other bars and restaurants. Many of them I personally don't think make money, and you also have a lot of wealthy people who bought into the hype down here, or they just kind of wanted something to do, or maybe they just wanted to feel important and rub shoulders with Toledo's political elite, so they buy a restaurant or a bar down here, or an antique shop, thinking that it's going to make them be important. What you see here is the Burdan building. This is an empty, derelict building that has also been the talk of the downtown's renaissance. This whole warehouse district is filled with idiots who think that market forces are not going to prevail in the end. You can see this place is also quite a bit of litter down here. But that doesn't stop the optimists here. They really do think that Toledo's future begins and ends here in this area. So again, I disagree with that too. I don't think the government should be giving credits to anybody. Well, let me rephrase that. This is another bar that recently opened, Ye Old Cock and Bull Tavern, right next to the Fifth Third Field. It's been pretty busy since it opened, but new winter hours. They used to be open for lunch, then now they open at 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, and looks like they still do lunch hours on the weekends. And that's another subject. You hear people say, well, the more the merrier. More bars that open down here, more restaurants that open down here, has a synergy effect. And I greatly disagree with that, and the proof is evident, because for every place that has opened, at least in the last few years, there's been at least one place that has closed. And so it's more or less just a game, an economic game of musical chairs. But yet the government, local government and propaganda machines just continue on and on and on about how great downtown is, and it's just vital for Toledo's survival. And you can see over there's another derelict building. It's pretty cold out here, so my voice you might notice some shivering. It's about -5 Celsius or 20 degrees right now. And there is a bit of wind blowing. And the propagandists, when there are certain days with events, like when there are baseball games, or sometimes the hockey team which plays nearby, you can see that Huntington Center about 2 blocks from here. When there are events here, these places fill up. Unfortunately, there are not events every day. And when that happens, this area turns into a virtual ghost town, despite being downtown. This is probably one of the more, this is one of the more lively places in downtown. But you can see even there, they don't, their hours are limited. They don't open on Sundays most of the time anymore. This over here is definitely a place that loses money. Table 44, it was hot when it opened, and now it's greatly cooled off because that Cock and Bull place kind of stole most of their business. And you can see the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th stories in that building are empty. This here is another place where supposedly a restaurant is going to go in soon, and I hope they have a lot of money to burn, because they're in for it. You've already heard me say I think restaurants are toast in the next year or two. Here's another building that has been recently restored. Been sitting empty for a few years now. Somebody has a lot of money sank into this place. The windows are frosted up because it's so cold out here, but coming soon, luxury loft apartments, HannonsBlock.com. I guess you can call me a skeptic again, because I just don't really see the need for all this new housing here. Toledo has a falling population. It has been falling for decades now. Now, of course, that could turn around at some point, but I haven't seen any indication of that. And so I think a lot of these folks that are investing in these properties down here are going to get their feelings hurt. I'm going to cross the street so we can get a better look at this building. It has to cost a fortune to heat a place like that. A lot of these buildings are well over 100 years old now. Back then, they just were not insulated like things are today. But you could see the architecture, definitely unique. There's a better look at this building here. Hannons Block again. 1874 it was built, so it's almost 150 years old. So I guess that's it for this one.